But at the World Cup, we saw how Germany crumbled.
Problems with, in this time, Ozil and Gundogan was like something political. So everybody asked about your socks, about your hair, about your beard, about everything. And this is the normal media.
England against Germany, and you scored the goal. The easiest of goals. You just tap the goal in.
You need to be there. So if it's not like
it's a poacher's goal, yeah, exactly.
In the football club, you have some guys who is more like funky guys and like to maybe smoke a shisha.
So Joachim Low had the impression that you just walked out on the team, not the stadium, right?
Yeah, he was thinking about maybe, I don't know. I never asked him this.
So you want him to stay?
Important is that the coach stay now and he get a new chance.
Why? To Russia, of all places.
It's not the bears who is walking on the street in Russia.
Hello everyone watching and listening to The Raw Take, the unbiased and frank conversations about all things sport. And today I should probably say Guten Abend, because today we're talking about football and particularly about German football. Now, going into the World Cup last year in Russia, just about everyone thought Germany would either win it or get far. Well, we saw, you all know pretty well, Germany's complete capitulation in the World Cup, not even making it out of the group. So for a long time, I've been looking for someone representing German football to talk about the issue. And today I have the perfect guest. And my guest today to talk about these subjects is the one and only Kevin Kuranyi, who used to play for the Germany national team, 52 caps, right?
Yeah.
19 goals. But apart from that, obviously, Kevin played for Stuttgart, for Schalke, for Dynamo Moscow, and for Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Moscow.
Thank you very
And I'm
much.
saying back to Moscow because you are fondly loved here and you know that.
Of course, I love this city and I have a lot of good friends here. And I have a good time with Dynamo Moscow and with all my friends. That's why I'm happy to be back here.
I saw you during the World Cup in the street and you looked very happy the night before the final. Yeah. It was a great World Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really nice. The Russian people was making a very good organization. All the people who is coming from the other countries was happy and was feeling like really good. And I heard only good things about Russia and I'm happy for this.
Definitely, I still reminisce all those days. It felt like magic. But you were mentioning the happy people. I suspect not all people were happy, particularly the fans of the Germany national team.
Yeah.
Kevin, you played for Germany in a really interesting period when the country's national team was transitioning from, eras of success into wilderness, into something uncertain, and then boom, third place at the World Cup, domestic World Cup, and then the Euro finals, and then obviously the World Cup in Rio. What happened this time? Germany was touted as one of the biggest favorites, and what went wrong?
I think this is the big problem, because if you win a lot of titles, if you are growing up like many years, and then you win the World Cup in Rio, after come big pressure for the team, because everybody was looking for Germany, everybody was thinking the World Cup champion is coming to play with us, and then I think for some players was too much pressure, and also for the other teams was like a big motivation to win versus the big world champion, and this was maybe the difficult things in the German national team.
But did you even expect that Germany would not even make it into the knockout stages? I mean, this is disastrous.
This was really disastrous. I think everybody in Germany and also the players and the coaches was not happy with this. Nobody was expecting that we don't come to the next round. But this is football, and that's why I love football, because they can change like this.
If we go back in history, you played for the Germany national team between 2003 and 2008. You were even substituted into the game in the Euro finals, which Germany unfortunately lost to Spain, as we remember. 2006, we actually spoke to Jurgen Klinsmann just before the World Cup. He told us the big, long story about how nobody expected Germany to do anything. And it was a domestic World Cup. I mean, look, Russia did so well at the domestic World Cup.
It's true.
Germany did even better, third place, when everybody was writing Germany off. But the process itself of transitioning, of getting hope and money into young players in Germany back in the days, do you think the same situation should be happening now? Do you think that this disaster at the World Cup in Russia for Germany should be as a wake-up call?
I think for sure will be like this. All German teams and all German coaches are looking to the next young top players. They invest a lot in the young foundation and the young training camp to grow up the next champions. And of course, if you see the new mentality, if you see the coach as trying to find the new way to get again the best German team back, and I think it will be a big investment from time, from thinking, from working, from everything to get again the big German champion team.
Do you think maybe, and I'm not trying to, spark any kind of controversy here, but again, if we compare this with the past, when the reins of the German national team were given to Jurgen Klinsmann, a very young manager, with nothing really to show for himself, and yet he's achieved a major success in the circumstances. Third place at the World Cup, that's major.
Yeah.
At home. Do you think maybe it's time for the German national team to change its management?
It's a good question. Of course, after the World Cup, everybody was asking this question to me and to everyone who was in front of the television. What is the important decision? Take a new coaches and start it from zero to find a new way, a new mentality, a new fresh air in the national team, or maybe stay with the coaches. He's already, I think, 10 years. Coach, and he knows everything, and he's trying also, because he made some mistakes in the World Cup, maybe he find a new way to get the good young players back and to keep some experienced players on the team. Important is that the coach stay now and he get a new chance, and now he need to show in the next European Cup that German is getting better.
So you want him to stay?
Yes, he is already, I think, make his contract and he will stay. And I was also thinking about maybe he can find a new way to get the team back stronger.
Kevin, but you played for his team. Ironically, you also quit the national team managed by him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and ask what happened. What's he like? I mean, there's not much known about Joachim Low. He's not really a media kind of guy. He doesn't give a lot of interviews. As a manager, what's he like?
Yeah, as a manager, he like technical players who is trying to make the game faster. He tried to get the ball from defense to the attack very fast to get this, big speed on the game. He's a coach who talk a lot with his team.
Is he tough?
He's tough, yeah. If he need to be tough, he's tough. And he have also a big important second coaches, technical coaches. He has some video analyst who is one of the best for me in the world. And he's have a good team who can keep the team strong and make it better.
What surprised me the most about the Germany's performance at the World Cup is you almost, predisposition to think that the level of discipline inside the German team would be always very, very high. But at the World Cup, we saw how Germany crumbled. Where was that discipline? What happened with it? And was it down to the manager to get his players back on track?
The bad thing who was working before the World Cup was a lot of median problems with, in this time, Ozil and Gundogan. Was like something political, and all the team was broken in this time. Some guys was moving from his group, and it was a big problem on the team inside.
So it did exist, right? Because there were people in the Germany national squad, in the football association, who said that no, everything's fine, we have a synergy. But there was a problem inside the team.
Of course, they try to keep it secret, that is not a problem. But on the end of the World Cup, you see that was a problem because nobody was really concentrate. Ozil was playing one game, and after the next game was not playing. And then you see some guys talking on the television or making some interviews who was not good for this moment. And there you see a lot of problems on the team.
I remember not so long ago, recently, there was even sort of an investigation or revelations from the camp. I think it was Der Spiegel who published this article, that it wasn't just a rift, it wasn't just a conflict of players, it was something involving ethnic backgrounds and downright racist things happening inside the team. You played for the team. Can you even imagine something like that happening inside Joachim Low's team?
Like not something like racist team, but of course in every team in the world you have your 2-3 best friends, you know, and then you have like groups on the team. If you find a team who is really don't have this, then it's I want to meet this team, because it's normal in the football club. You have some guys who is more like funky guys and like to maybe smoke a shisha, but you have also another group who is, but you have also another group who is maybe trying to keep his lifestyle different. And of course, on the end, you need to be a team on the pitch. If you are a team on the pitch, nobody asking about you what you do after the game or before the game. You know, because you show a quality, you show winning games, and you show that you are a team. But if you have some problems, everybody asks about your socks, about your hair, about your beard, about everything. And this is the normal media from today.
The suggestion by Der Spiegel was that the camps inside the national team were basically Germans against immigrant Germans or something like that. And my question was, do you think that this is even possible in the Germany team, considering everything, considering how multicultural the team has always been?
But that's what I mean. Not everyone really German. You have like some guys who is coming from, what I can say, Turkey or Ghana or I don't know. But on the end, when they win the World Cup, everybody was keeping these 2 teams or 3, I don't know, together, because they know we are a team, they know we need to win something together, and we want to show that we are German, the best team in the world. When it's coming some problems, then everybody find something. What I mean with hair, with shisha, with some immigrants or no immigrants, and that's the media. What I tell that sometimes talk a little bit more than that's true.
Now that you mentioned it, and I want to go back a little bit to Mesut Ozil, since he was, almost singled out by the media and the fans as the bad apple in the Germany team. Do you think that's the case? Do you think he's the bad apple?
He's not the bad apple. He is a top player who I play also together when he was young in the Schalke 04. He's of course a special player. If you have his quality, if you have a player who can change the game, they need sometimes to treat him special. I play with a lot of players like this because I know they are also special. When was the World Cup? In Rio. He was playing all the games. He was making the game. He was helping this team to be world champion. And everybody was talking good, and Ozil is the best, and everything is good in him. And when it's coming the problems, like in the Russian World Cup, maybe he make a big mistake. I hope he know that he was a mistake, but it's his own decision, and nobody can decide for him. that the people was writing very bad about him, writing that he's not a German, he's Turkish guy, that writing really not nice things. And then he's the problem for the team.
Do you think that broke him in some way?
He broke him in his games, yeah. I think he get...
All that media pressure, I mean.
Yeah, all the media pressure, of course, make it change his game, because he was not 100% on the football field, because he was losing maybe 20-30% thinking about the media, about the things who can get wrong.
How do you think he can get back to playing?
He needs some coaches who give him the power, who understand him, who love his game. Then he will come back with a big power.
Do you think Emery is that coach? I don't know how close you watch Arsenal, but
I watch Arsenal because I have a lot of players who is playing there. But I don't know how is Emery, his mentality, how he coaches the team. I think he's a good coach, because I have a lot of players who was working with him. He's very, very special with his team. But I don't know if he's the coach who can help Ozil to get back to the 100%.
Kevin, now that we mentioned England, there was one game that I remember very well. Of course, it was a friendly. Irrelevant, but it was at Wembley, England against Germany, and you scored the goal. The easiest of goals, you just tap the goal in. Nevertheless, it's a
You need to be there, so if it's not like...
It's a poacher's goal, yeah, exactly. That's the way it has to be. So you scored a goal at Wembley. How did it feel? Especially on the back of that defeat.
I think it was the first game in Wembley.
Yes.
In the new stadium,
Wembley,
yeah, the new Wembley. And of course, it was very nice for me to score a goal there. We win 2-1. I think with this goal we win this game, and everybody know the English team, everybody know the English player, and it was very nice to win the first game in Wembley Stadium with a goal from me.
Do you understand that you made history, that you beat England in a friendly at a new Wembley Stadium?
Yes, it was like a small history, but it was nice to be there.
After that, obviously that was 2007. The next stage was the Euros 2008, where England didn't even go. You made it to the Euros. You were a substitute in the final game. 1-0, I think it was Fernando Torres who scored the winning goal. Obviously a heartbreak. Germany didn't win. Obviously a heartbreak. But after that, some 2 months later...
In a stadium who I don't like so much.
Right. But nonetheless, you walked out of that game. You weren't even in the 18-man squad, and you basically said nothing, but then Joachim Low said that he's never going to take you back in. Yeah. What happened?
Oh, this was really a special moment in my career. I think one of the most bad moments for my career. Of course, was everything going well. I was playing and having really success with the team. I was playing for Schalke in this time, and we played with the national team in the Dortmund stadium. And if you know, Schalke Dortmund obviously is all not so the best friends.
The derby, yeah.
Yeah, the derby, and the fanatic is like hating the Schalke players, and the same like Schalke fanatic don't like the Dortmund players. And the coach was taking a decision who was not good at the moment for me. Maybe I make also a wrong decision after, but I was talking to the coach that maybe he let me in the first 18 because it will be very difficult for me to stay outside in the stadium from Dortmund watching a game from Germany. And he said, no, I concentrate now for the game, let's go, and everything okay.
So you walked out of that stadium because you felt bad in that stadium particularly, right?
Yeah, because in the stadium when I was walking inside, it was like somebody throwing me papers, making a lot of bad things who I was thinking, I'm not for this here, you know? And then I get like an explosion in my mind, and I go from the stadium. And I make a big mistake that I put my phone off and don't answer no calls and everything, and this was after and the next day.
So Joachim Low had the impression that you just walked out on the team,
yeah,
not the stadium, right?
Yeah, he was thinking about maybe, I don't know, I never asked him this. But maybe he was thinking, okay, I cannot do this with the team. It's not professional, and that's why he take this decision.
Have you ever had a chance to talk to him about that? After that?
No, of course I talked to him about another things, but I never asked him about these moments and about his decision. I think everybody take a decision in life. This was for me not good, but I need to understand this, that I make also a mistake.
Kevin, after that, 2 years later, you are basically at your peak, at your prime. You're scoring bags of goals for Schalke. I really do remember that one goal you scored. I think many people say this is your best goal in Germany. Yeah. The overhead kick against Dortmund from Hamid's pass. Yeah. My God, that was scintillating. But you moved to Russia, to Dynamo Moscow. Yeah. Why? To Russia, of all places.
I need to say the truth. All the packet in this moment was for me good. Of course, it was big money. I don't need to say I come from because I know that the city is nice. After, yes, but before I don't know that Moscow is so nice like I come and I know now. But the club was thinking about to grow up. They was taking a lot of top players from the world, like Voronin, like some national players from Russia, like Samedov, and this time Hochlov and Tima, and I can tell you a lot of good names who was playing this time. And it was for me like something special to get a normal team from Russia and put him to play in Europe or to grow up with this team.
Which you did.
Yeah, and of course we have a little bit luck, but also we play a very nice seasons. And that's why I take the decision, let's try this, let's also get a good money for this, and why not? And after I was happy to make the decision that I stay 5 years.
Yeah, that's 50 goals.
Yeah.
Probably even more because there are like cups and everything else, but 50 league goals as far as I remember. When you moved, you said you didn't know where you were moving. What stereotypes that you had, or maybe thoughts that you had before moving to Russia, which of them stayed and which of them went away? What changed in your perception?
I think it's not the bears who is walking on the street in Russia.
I wish I saw one. Yeah.
But of course, a lot of it's a long winter, a lot of snow, and the traffic is really, really bad. I hate the traffic.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah. But the rest, I was really impressed about the people, about the nice restaurants, nice places who Russian have, and I feel really comfortable, and I feel really good to find a lot of good friends here, to feel good in Russia and in Moscow, and that's why I prolong also in this time my contract, because I was feeling a good time in Russia.
So you half Brazilian, half German, find your home in Russia in the cold.
Like, okay, 3. Russia, Brazil,
Germany.
Panama.
Panama, yeah.
4, okay?
Nice.
25%.
The man of the world.
Yes.
But you do understand you are a Dynamo legend proper, because I know few Dynamo fans. One of them is actually sitting right here behind the camera.
Yeah.
There he is.
Very good.
So he probably would be interested to know as well. You left Dynamo at 14-15 season.
Yeah.
Went back to Germany to Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
And then Dynamo just derails and crashes into the second league. What do you think happened with the club? They're only now back into the Premier League, but are struggling of sorts.
I think they was missing me, yeah?
They're missing you.
I'm joking.
Get back to Dynamo.
No, of course. It's, I don't know, when I go was a lot of problems after they go to the second league. I was really, really feeling bad that my club, who I feel so good, who I have so nice moments, who I have so many friends, going to the second league was not easy. But good that they come back to the first league, that he fight and do everything to get in the Premier League again. And now, of course, now we need to find a good way to get the really Dynamo from this time, who was playing Europa Cup, who was playing the final from the cup, and also on the top 3 or 4 from the Russian league. I hope that is coming a new sponsor. I think VTB is coming back. It's very important for the club, and I'm happy for this. And will be fine for Dynamo Moscow and for all the Dynamo Moscow fans who I love it so much.
So you still follow the club, follow the results, and watch the games?
For sure. I have a friend who is playing there. I was now 1 month ago visiting Dynamo Moscow in the training camp, and of course I follow my team.
That's nice to know. I'm sure they will be happy. Are you happy? You're happy? He's happy.
He's happy.
Since we spoke about Hoffenheim, I actually mentioned that. I wanted to ask you a few questions about the German managers these days. We obviously spoke about Joachim Low. He's a great manager, won the World Cup. But there are other prominent German managers. One of them is obviously Jurgen Klopp, the manager of Liverpool.
Of course.
I won't hide it, I won't deny it. I'm a big Liverpool fan all my life. So Klopp is my hero right now. What do you think of him? Obviously big success in Germany. 2 Bundesligas back-to-back against Bayern Munich, the Giants. Yeah. Champions League final, lost. Another Champions League final, lost last year. Now Liverpool is in the run for the trophy.
I think Jurgen Klopp is one of the best coaches in the world. He was already showing the Bundesliga and in the German teams who he was working before a lot of big games and big intensive working with his club. And now he's showing that international in Liverpool, who he have a good team, who he built a really top players, top team, who was already in the final from the Champions League. You see he's working. You see how he has like a coach, and I think the players love him because he know how the players think. He know how to work with them.
Your previous team, Hoffenheim, is managed by a really interesting guy, Nagelsmann. I read an interview with him not so long ago by a colleague of mine, 31 years old, managing a team for 3rd season now, I think. Yeah. Do you think he's the future big star of German football, managerially?
I can tell you yes, for sure, because I was working with him on the end of my career. I see how he is like a coach. He first talked to the team was like he's working already 20 years with professional clubs. It's unbelievable. He have a big presence. He know a lot about football. He's football maniac, you know? And he is really clever. And he knows how to push every player to get better. And if you have this in a team, you push your team to get better. And I think this is the future for the German coach in Germany.
The national team?
I think maybe, yeah, potentially, yes. He's young. He will make one time the national team for sure.
The question is, I mean, I don't want to diminish Hoffenheim in any way, but it's quite clear if you compare Hoffenheim with Bayern Munich or any other club, let's say Manchester United, Chelsea. Yeah. Chelsea will be looking for a manager pretty soon, I guess. Yeah. Do you think he should make a transition to a big powerhouse club?
He's making now the transition. He's going to Leipzig. He's, of course, for him, it's very important to learn also with the professional teams. Now he's playing Champions League. Now he's going the next step, going to Leipzig, who have a lot of young top players who can also have the power to buy some players for 20, 30 millions and get in the next step. I think after Leipzig, he will make the big step to the big clubs and show that he's one of the best coaches from Germany at the moment.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.